All right, welcome back to the Total Pile Podcast. I'm Tyler, and today we have two special guests because Brock can't be here, and that's okay. He's prepping for Atlanta. Oh my God, I almost forgot where the tournament was. I got Drew. I mess your last name up every time, and it makes me mad. But Allberg.
Last name's not important.
Yeah, bro, it's whatever. No gubbies. It's fine. No gubbies. And Jordan, how you guys doing?
Doing
Really good.
Love it. Drew, why don't you go first? I need your favorite deck and a card that you hate to see rotated.
Favorite deck of all time?
All time. Let's show your age here if you want. It's okay.
Okay. We're gonna run it back to when I was a youngin, and I'm gonna say Sceptile EX from Ancient Origins, XY Ancient Origins. I made that card. I gave that card its Limitless page. That was me. So Sceptile, Ariados, Crobat. Sceptile, EX, Ariados, Crobat. That was I don't even know if I have the tournaments from back then, but people day two'd with that deck because of me. Anyways, and a card I hate to see leave. I mean, man, there's a lot of good choices. I might have to say Switch Card. I loved Switch Card. I like playing basic Pokemon in my decks. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big basis guy through and through. Also, he forgot to mention, and I didn't even ask for this anyway. Drew day 2 at NAIC last year with the Miraidon.
I did.
With the Switch cards. Yeah. Was it 150th? 152nd? What was it?
152nd, yeah, 152nd. It was really good. I could have ID'd last round for 128, but he thought he could get into 64 off the win. He wasn't sure. So we played it out and I lost.
Rip. Jordan, I only know you from playing two of the worst decks ever made in both tournaments that I've seen you at, which is Duraludon VMAX and Lugia V-Star. So
neither one of those are my favorite deck for sure. All-time favorite deck is Meta Knight, like Delta Species Meta Knight from like when I was 10 years old.
Whoa, what a throwback. I love that.
More recently, like Palcanteleon. Like, so if we look at like from when I started playing again, like Palcanteleon.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind the shady dealings now and then. I don't mind that one bit.
True.
Well, thank you guys for doing this.
Cards is good.
One more time, sorry, Jordan.
Searching your deck for 2 cards is good.
Bro,
no complaints here.
No complaints here. Imagine Jewel Seeker, but you did need a Terra. That's the craziest part. It was just whenever. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for doing this. And it was definitely late notice. I think I planned it technically yesterday, and we're doing it today. So, this is super cool, and I really appreciate it. Speaking of cards leaving, it's rotation. We're here. We've made it. We finally gone through the weeds of a 6-month format, and I am so happy to be on the other side. But this means that it's a whole new area. I know both of you take an extreme amount of time talking with Brock and experiencing it live with Drew on your deck choices and grinding. So can we talk about how you guys go through the process, especially with rotation? This is a huge thing. There's so many new cards and so many different variations and versions of decks. So we'll start with Jordan this time. Jordan, what's your deck process like? What are you looking at? How many games live are you playing? Or in person? It doesn't matter to me, to be honest, but I know you guys are grinders, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, so unfortunately for me, I don't get to play as much as I would like to. I work a ton, and I work on weekends, so I don't get to test in person a lot. So for me, I'm a statistics junkie in Pokemon. So I'm looking at matchup spreads. I'm looking at those kind of things, and what I think are going to be the top decks of the tournament. I usually make a meta decision based off of my prediction of what I think the meta is going to be.
Nice. Drew.
Yeah, I mean, stats is a great way to go. I mean, all of my tournament prep, I kind of just nerd out about it. I'm at work, sitting at my desk. I got a notepad in front of me. I'm putting down matchup percentages, and I'm looking up play rates and win rates, and I'm doing tons of different stuff. And that's kind of usually how I like to do. I use all the tools. I like Limitless. I like Trainer Hill. Those kind of help me figure out the last couple decisions I need to kind of help influence me one way or the other. But a lot of it comes from feel too. I test out a bunch of decks, especially with rotation every year. The sooner you get get ahead of those things, the sooner you can kind of have like a good idea of where the format's going to be at, which helps a lot because you don't have anything to go off of besides like online results going into that. If we don't have any like Japanese results to look at, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I try to have some future sight there, and then yeah, I just play the game a ton. I try tons of different lists of the same deck. I try tons of different decks. And I kind of I go from there. Whatever feels the best. It doesn't necessarily have to be what's performing the best or what I think is the best. Just whatever I think I'm going to play the best.
That's awesome. And you mentioned something cool too. Like, how much credit do you put into the Japanese results? I know Brock is very adamant against Japanese results. So what's your take on it? Do you love it as a starting point, or are you more into the weeds of that?
The Japanese majors I like. The Champions Leagues I like because that's like where it matters. That's where people play their good lists. That's where good players show up. And that's like really where you get to see good things happening. Not a lot of fake things happen when you're playing through like 17, 18 rounds of a tournament, right? So that's nice. It's the city leagues that I don't give much credit to, but I think you can look at those. You can look at those Japanese results from the major tournaments, just like if it were any other North American regional from like the month before, and kind of adapt off how their meta looked going, at the end of that tournament.
Jordan,
I take a lot of merit on the large scale tournament as well. I think looking at the city leagues, I mean, I'm not ripping people's list off of Twitter that they won their cups with most often. So like it's kind of a similar basis for me. Is like I'm gonna go off of the big tournaments and then obviously looking at like the online data and stuff. You gotta be a little careful with online data, right? At like a rotation or a set dropping. I think there's definitely some people that are like definitely not playing everything they have thinking about, So you gotta be careful with it and you gotta have some decision making on your own and some taking some stuff from prior formats and stuff like that and carrying it over into a new format. I think making some decisions on your own is a big deal too.
Yeah, I think Jordan just solved my entire problem. I gotta stop ripping decks off Twitter. I assume that I'm gonna win a League Cup because some random dude in California won his League Cup. I have to just like instant 1-for-1. I don't even know who they are. It's just Pokemon League Cup, and I get a 60 off that. And we're rolling.
Yeah, League Cup, dude. League Cup's all about confidence. It's not even necessarily about deck choice, unless you somehow get countered out of the room by accident. But like, it's really about just like confidence. Some people put too much like merit on like performing good or bad at League Cups and stuff. I haven't missed a cut at a League Cup this season. I don't think it's I just show up, I play the deck that I have the most reps on in the last 2 weeks, and then I just show up and play it. I don't think too much more about it.
I literally got matchup cut this last year. I don't know if I didn't tell Jordan about this, but I definitely told Drew at our Nebraska Discord. I went 1-0-3 at our League Cup 2 weeks ago, the last one of the format. I played Dragapult, Ursaluna, like that kind of tankier build. I was like, I'm just a sucker for a good deck. And I tied against 2 Goldango and a Duraludon with Badoo Lock to not get in. It felt terrible. If it was top cut to 8, I probably would have made it, but it was top cut to 4. It felt terrible. Shout out to Jason who came down from Omaha if he's listening. But yeah, so super cool insight there. And what I kind of want to do next is go into kind of overrated, underrated cards. Rotations here, big thing is Journey Together, right? Like there's a lot of new cards and a lot of things that are splashable on a lot of different things. And so I got 3 cards here. So I want your thoughts on Hopsation. We've seen this in our Chaladon. We've seen it as just a Hops package. We're now seeing it in just random stuff. Like there's that Iron Valiant version. Like there's just so many weird decks with this, but it's very good early game pressure. Thoughts on Hopsation? Drew.
Go ahead, Joe. I'll go. Okay, so Hopsation, it's just not good enough. I'll be honest. It's just not good enough. I mean, we have 320 HP, Pokemon that have with no weakness that are, doing 200 damage and 60 to the bench. Like, so doing like 120 to the active and 30 to the bench when that's not taking a knockout on anything besides a Badoo on the bench. and then they just monkey dory it off or something, and one shot you back. Like it's just not there. It's just not there. I don't think the Archaladon version really covers it enough. It's like, what's the point of hitting for 240 with the Zacian when you really could just be hitting with the Archaladon for that amount of damage, like with some damage modifier, max belt, poison, something.
Yeah.
I don't think Hops Zacian is it. I'm not sure there's any good Hops card in the meta right now.
Yeah, I think the deck's centered around the Zacian. Like, it tries to run you off the board. And I feel like those kind of decks are never that great because it doesn't have the sustainability. And then other than that, it's just really like a tech piece that like has to be played to counter Cornerstone, I guess.
Yeah. I will counter Drew point a little bit. I do like Hop's bag a lot. If Hop's Pokemon were overall better, I get it. Like, that makes sense. But just the ability, like a bag, it's Battle VIP Pass every turn. It's Buddy popping for any Pokemon. Like, that's broken. But like, I agree for the most part. Like, it's just.
Well, I don't know, man. Techno Radar's been in the format for almost 2 years now or something, and that card has been in like one good deck of all time. And like Iron Hands is broken. Iron Hands is broken, and that card is still bad.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Best set of trainer cards, hands down. But
Hops has the most consistency, I think. It has a lot of gas too. I think it's just not good enough.
Yeah,
that's a great way to put it. Well, speaking of packages, our next cards and Zoroark, and the reason why I'm putting this is because of this new Archaladon build with this trade. I can't stop playing it on the ladder, but I think the ends package overall is not great. It feels bad. We'll have Jordan go first here. Thoughts on End Zoroark?
I don't think Zoroark will be anything bigger than an engine for something eventually, and I don't think the time is right now.
Yeah.
It needs another piece. It needs something to do big standalone damage, most likely, and I just don't think it'll have it. We got 300 HP stage ones right now, so
right. I think Zoroark's gonna go down in history as a draw engine, man. Like, and Zoroark just doesn't have the attacking like beef. I heard someone say this recently this week, actually a player locally, and they're like, if it did 100 damage, if that Darmanitan did 100 damage and could kill Noctowls, I think that deck would be really good. But it's just not.
That's a great point.
It doesn't do enough damage.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I do like the dark patch, the pseudo dark patch, and ends PP up. It's just like, that's so cool. I tried playing it with Ancient Box as a draw engine, and it works, but just Ancient Box is not in a great spot. I was like, oh, bro, I could just discard all the bad ancient cards and draw all the good ancient cards. That would be sick. And it's a lot of fun. It's just, there's 320 HP Pokemon up there. It's just the way it is.
Right.
Third one, I got one more after this one. This has been popping up, and I hate a good control deck. And I think this might be it. Maractus. I think Maractus is correct, and I hate playing against this retreat lock style deck. It makes me play Switch. Drew, I know you played Thorns a little bit. You love a little good lock in a way. Thoughts on Maractus? Have you gave this a thought?
Yes, I like this card. I think it's good. This was my number 2 card in the set, actually, when I was rating cards a long time ago. I thought this card was really good. I thought people were disrespecting cards like this, with how they were deck building, especially in Japan and all like the early decks into this format. I was like, if someone can make this work, if there's some Pidgeot control head out there who can, figure out a way to make this really good. Yeah, the retreat lock is really, really kind of a big deal right now. It's the same way that, like Dragapult, like their whole idea against some of these aggro decks is just the stamp and the Badoo lock, but you can just like throw somebody off for many turns while you do something. I just think there's not the greatest bench sitters for this right now. Like, you can only take advantage of it for a handful of turns. I don't know. I did see that there was that Frostlass Monkey Dory deck. I thought this was a perfect card for that deck, but I don't know how real that deck is quite yet.
Yeah, the Pidgeot control version really intrigues me of this. It's because we lost Mawile, right? But and then the ability to just put damage counters on the active after getting knocked out too. is just something that makes it even spicier. Jordan, thoughts on control locks? You love a good wall.
I do. So I think Tempting Trap showed us like how powerful of an attack that was. There's like 5 cards in the format with this attack right now. Like,
is there really?
There's like it's like Totodile, Knuckle, this. There's like another one.
Water Pond, the Water Ogre Pond.
Yeah, the Water Ogre Pond has Sub. Like, there's a lot of this ability in the format, but it's usually put on pretty bad cards. Like. But this card, like the ability is good on this. Like I think this is a decent card right now, even in like some Dragapult shells. Like I know, like setting up the 6 damage counters with it is huge.
I didn't even think about that. There's 5. Oh no, I have to play Switch in every deck now. I'm so upset. This is ridiculous. I am so bummed. Latios is not enough. I'm so upset.
Yeah, keep your Turos. Keep your Turos around for sure.
Turos. The last card, and this is my favorite card of the entire Journey Together set. The Dunsparce EX. This card is the best card in the entire set of Journey Together. No, hands down, the best in the class. Let's hear it. I want to hear it from whoever wants to go first. It don't matter to me.
It just doesn't do enough damage. Like for the thing it wants to kill, it just doesn't do enough. Like,
no, it's so good.
60 per EX against Cornerstone's not going to get the job done, especially when they play monkeys. Like,
right. I was actually about to say the exact same thing. I was all like, I've played against a Golden Go deck that played this for my Cornerstone. I was playing some Terra Box. I had the Cornerstone, and he was hitting me for 120. But it turns out I just put a Bravery Charm or do 1 Adrena Brain, and I still win every time.
No, but he's the worm, dudes. Yeah, against a good decent player, it's going to be hard to make it happen. But obviously, the Dunsparce is best because the draw engine and just having.
I'm also on the Azul train though. Like I'm a big the Dunsparce hater, so like
the
I don't like
Dunsparce is the guy, bro. I play him in everything. He's the best draw engine to date.
He's cool. He's cool as a draw engine. I really do like him. I think he kind of fits well with some of these like aggro decks. But it's like we really don't have like insane aggro decks that aren't carried by Noctowl right now, and like that's our engine because like we don't have Pokestop anymore, and we don't have lots of other things that are really going to help us like dig. No trekking shoes, things like that for like consistency on the aggro side of it. So it's like, who's going to play the Dunsparce over Noctowl right now?
It's Shady Dealings over everything else.
Right.
And the 2 decks that would play it have the option of just playing Sizor. So.
We're getting spicy here. Hold on here. We can shift it now. I got the meta breakdown of online results. Thanks to Joe at OmniPoke. Man, I can't. The time this guy takes to do all this is absolutely incredible. I could never. I watch PokeHive and on Twitter, and Joe does this online. It's got to be countless hours. But you mentioned Golden Go, and you mentioned Sizor. He's got it. It's currently B tier, based off like play rate online. I saw you. I don't know if it was a meme or if it's actually your play, and you can keep it close to your chest if you want, Jordan. But you said you're going to make it rain in Atlanta, and that's a public statement.
I am. I'm playing Golden Go. Like.
And you're not going to play the Dunsparce. I'm so hurt. I am so disgusted. But let's hear it. What are your thoughts? Because it's got a good one, basic attacker in Sizor. You just mentioned it. You're playing Scythers. Like, you got a free retreater with that, too. Like, how does Golden Go involved in this new format?
Golden Go has the ability to play a lot of tech cards because your inherent engine is so small. Like your inherent engine is just 4 Gimme Ghoul, 4 Golden Go. So you have a lot of room for options to tech out against some of the top decks in the meta, and you take a pretty good matchup spread into a few of those.
Yeah. Drew, thoughts on the Dingus?
Dude, I think he's real. I think, we saw a lot of like very good players and testing groups start playing Golden Go kind of out of nowhere last format, and it was to target Dragapult. It was because it did so good against Dragapult, and they kind of had mapped away to play it slow and stay on one prize board. And I think you can kind of do that similarly here. And you have the TM evolution. And he's talking about tech cards. He's totally right. Like we have room to play things like Monkey Dory and other little things to just like put a little bit of a wrench, just enough of a wrench in people's plans, but still have like this one shot potential. I don't know. He's cool. If I was gonna tell anybody, that I knew playing Golden Goat, they're all like, well, do you have any thoughts? Like, what should I say? I would just tell them 2 words. I would say rigid band. That's all I would say. That card is broken.
Rigid band.
That card is ran. It fixes a lot of things.
It does really well with the Dragapult matchup, making it 160.
It helps against Dragapult. It helps against Lily's Clefairy, which I'm sure we'll talk about more. It helps against tons of things.
Yeah, for sure. I never thought of it. That's perfect tech card in that scenario. Because 260 is already weird. Make it make it 300 if you count the minus 40. That's plus a monkey.
It's minus 30. It's minus 30. So yeah, 290.
Am I thinking of the Defiance vest?
Yeah. So yeah, either way, minus 30 on stage 1. It's a good card.
That's all right. Talk about spice.
I'm playing a 1/1 tech. I'm playing the Bonnet line.
The what?
Oh, are you really?
The 1/1 Brute Bonnet package to deal with Pikachu.
Oh, talk about I love it. You playing the Mochi too, or are you just leaving it at the Brute Bonnet package?
Just leaving it a bonnet in a capsule.
Oh.
And it fixes the Terra Box problem with Pikachu, and the Terra Box having all 210 HP kind of makes it to a point where you turn off their Pheasantipity for the whole game, and when they have to play off of like strictly knockdowns, they typically don't have enough cards to do the full setup plays that they want to do.
Yeah, you're almost limited to just 8 cards a game, because a Turo for a turn is just a waste and almost half the time as a supporter for turn. Obviously, it's really good in certain scenarios, but like that's a really spicy idea there. I like that a lot. Because then, like, you can just heal your monkey damage off anyway if they don't get the knockout, which you're taking the 2/2 trade anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Well, I need the list. So send it over. I need the list.
I'll send you what I've got cooked up.
Let's go. I love it. All right. We'll get it off Limitless when you make day 2. We'll slide on over on the B category. I think this is the most interesting thing that's going on right now. Is the Gardevoir resurgence. I don't know how it survived or how it's still popular without Kirlia's refinement, aka trade. Drew, I know you put a decent amount of time into it before Kirlia rotated. Or I know you played it quite a bit. I couldn't say. Did you take it to any major events?
I didn't. I was never really confident in the timing of the deck, like about 50-minute rounds and stuff. It wasn't quite for me.
Right.
If I wanted the heavy actions decks, I was more of a Lost Zone guy. But I love the Gardevoir. It's the first deck I actually picked up post rotation. It's the very first pile of cards I built to start testing, and it felt good. Like just Miracle Force and Monkey Dory is really, really good. I think the deck just like matches up really well into Dragapult, all of the versions.
That's exactly where we're going with this. It's another case of this deck matches up well with Dragapult.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is it's just like it really doesn't have the draws to do anything fantastic. Like you really kind of have to hit these like turn 2, turn 3 candy Gardevoirs every single time, and you're kind of really limited on how much energy you can get in the discard pile. That's why I think it's actually really important to not be playing too heavily into like leaning on Drifloon and Screamtail and stuff right now. I think we really do need to just be like attacking with things that are a little bit more consistent to attack with, and just use our Monkey Dories and kind of play the long game, because you can get stuck into a Badoo if you're not evolving well, and other problems if you just like don't quite get the energies you need to. But if you get 1 or 2 in there, like you can get some really early attacks in, and yeah, I like the deck a lot.
I've seen lists have gone away from the Drifloon, and like I've seen lists with no like HP modifiers, no Bravery Charms, no Cape, no nothing like that to boost the HP, and they're just playing like a Screamtail, and it's like, I'm going to put triple Monkey Dory on the board, and I'm going to attack you with Gardevoir, and you're going to deal with it. Like,
yeah, it
seems good.
I think Monkey's clearly the most broken card in the format right now. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's just the way it is, and like the ability to have three of them in play because your attacker is now Gardevoir is just it just seems very good. And then Clefairy. I mean, Drew mentioned it, a little bit before, but like Clefairy just makes it even that much harder for Dragapult, and even just having that kind of attacker with the Raikou attack from previous format. What do you want to call it? Palkia attack?
It's a Rondo attack.
The
Rondo
Rondo, bro,
attack, yeah.
that's it there. This is why we brought Drew on, dude. The Rondo attack. It's perfect. It's actually just broken with Area Zero in format, whether you're playing it or not. Like you could easily take abilities. It's like what caps it. Technically, 5 and 8 math here, 280.
That's 280.
That's such a good number. Oh man,
Great, it's great.
We'll let you guys decide here because I hate talking about it. But Shreks and Nex is still around. Any fans of Shreks and Nex here?
Shreks and Nex. Yeah, it's a classic. It's an oldie but a goodie nowadays.
Steel Mask Ogerpon. Dude, Raging Bolt. I couldn't think of Raikou's name. I couldn't do it. I just know it's Shreks and Nex. Any thoughts on it? Just quickly. I mean, if you want to go in depth for it, go for it. I'm not a big Shreks and Nex guy. I think Teal Mask is too slow in this format, even in Terra Box.
Bolt's one of those decks that, like, once it gets going, it doesn't really stop going anymore, especially playing the owls and stuff like that. Like, the deck is quite literally all gas. And so it just looks at you and is like, all right, do you have, like, a way to disrupt this 2-2 prize trade we're about to go down? And if you don't, like, the deck will beat you. Like, it's not a bad deck by any means, but...
I think pretty much every single one of those decks, the A tier and the S tier above that one, I think just like should nothing go horribly wrong, they just beat the Raging Bolt a lot of the time. The Raging Bolt just kind of like forces you to have some answers. You have to respond. They will two-shot things. They will be able to Jewel Seeker for their Gust and stuff. Like they're just gonna have it a lot now, which is like annoying, but they're still like they're not disrupting your hand a whole ton. They're not making you work super hard. You basically just have to respond each turn and make it a little bit hard for them, and they will crumble. I mean, it's really not a deck that'll withstand time. Even a deck that's been in the meta since NAIC of last year. Yeah. And
we knew like 4 or 5
has
guys playing
a
it there.
single tournament win, and a lot of people don't even really say that it earned that win. I mean, it's just not quite there. It's just not quite there. I mean, I think the deck actually does get better with the NAIC lists coming out, the NAIC set.
The Rocket set?
It matches up better into the meta then. But the fact that it is so reliant on the Noctowl patches, the Noctowls right now, I think actually kind of hurts it more than helps it. So.
Heck yeah, love that. This is where I think is the prime of everything. Obviously, it's an A tier, but this is the most interesting kind of triangle, in my opinion, we've had in a long time when we come into Pokemon. But the Archaludon, Terrabox, Dragapult triangle is so fascinating to me. Thoughts on Terrabox? We'll go with Drew first. You mentioned you playing it a lot when it first came out. Thoughts on
Terrabox was the other deck I put a ton of time into in my initial testing. I was just like, I'm a big fan of Tord. He's helped me in the past, and I just really like him. So I kind of put some faith into him and thinking, all right, let's figure out what they were cooking with. And I'm a big fan of decks with options. I played multiple different Lost Zone variants. I played the Intel Zard with all the fixings many times, and this deck just it's just that's what the deck is. It just, you have the attacker for the situation, and you piece it together and you power it up and you attack, and it's not complicated at its core. It's just a lot of moving parts. So I think the deck is super good. almost a little bit of a noob trap. Those box decks usually are. People like to hear the things like it can one-shot anything, you hit all the major decks for weakness, you do all these other little things, and they're all like, that deck just has to be broken, and they just end, it takes them down a spiral where they end up overthinking, or they just don't have the lines right, and it ends up just like not working out. And I think that gives a bad rap to decks like that, because I think when they're given like the best pilots, they're actually usually like S tier contenders every single time.
Yeah, I think at the top end of the deck, like it's probably the best deck in the format, and it's a very like it taxes your resources and your resource management, and usually, like you were saying, like that's the noob trap kind of recipe right there. It's like when they say, "Oh, it can snipe the bench, it can one shot anything, it can do all these things," and it's like, all right, but you have to play these cards very well to do all of those things. It definitely is a trap deck for a lot of people. But I think at the top level, it's amazing. Like the deck's great.
I mean, it is the turn 2 snipe 2 guys deck right now. It's like really the only deck that's doing that. So that just that it's a boogeyman for some decks. It's going to be a boogeyman to kill in 2 Ralts on turn 1, or killing 2 Dreepies on turn 1, or killing 2 Hoot-Hoots on the other side of the table turn 1. Like it's just scary to sit down across if you don't have the right things to protect your stuff.
Especially going first against it. Like if you just happen to have that hand, we saw it. Oh gosh, was it a Champions League? Multiple rounds of Champions League. Like Tor was
the Crispin Stone turns,
like going second turns,
I'll win the game
dude.
now.
Evolve into Noctowl, Crispin, Sparkling Crystal, Knockout. It's absolutely insane. But my favorite part of this deck is how it's evolved into one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Is the Bouffalant variant. This tanky Buffalo is the guy. Like, if it was between Bouffalant and Dunsparce, it'd be a long day for me. I couldn't tell you which one I'd pick.
With you and colorless Pokemon, man. Like,
bro, these normal types are sick, dude. Honestly, the Dunsparce by itself, not a big fan. You gave it an extra lump. I went berserk, dude.
Bug catcher Tyler's gonna catch on.
Oh, bro, and then, dude, if you could just imagine riding around on a Bouffalant, like it's clear above Tauros for sure, and like it's Bouffalant's that guy, but I didn't think it'd ever be playable, ever. Like it's just one of those things. I got 4 of the pre-release promos as soon as it came out. I had to have them, but now it's actually a viable deck. I think. Behind the Zoroark or Chaladon, it's the most deck I've played in this format because of that kind of boxy feely, but it's only a one-legged strategy where I'm hitting with Terrapagos almost every turn, or a Fan Rotom on your little baby guy. Any thoughts from either of you on the Boof?
That was the first deck that I considered, like, once we got some online information and everything. That was the deck I was testing very heavily. Worked on it with, some Brock and some other people, and like we really, really, really like the Buffalo list. It takes advantage of something in the meta where like not a lot of things are hitting very, very hard. And so when you cap some stuff's damage out at 220 on Archaludon and 200 on Dragapult and things like that, you make a very tanky Pokemon and say, all right, but if you can't get over this, I'm just going to keep hitting you in the face. Like,
and
seems good.
And the big thing for me too, and I notice this a lot, and most of the lists are playing Cornerstone as an answer, but that's also just an easy win con against some of these decks in the format right now. It's just so nice to have. Obviously, you're not going to play Cornerstone against Dragapult, but like, man, it's just the ability to be able to Crispin and have that versatility of a Terror Box, but also just be a tank, dude. Drew, thoughts on the buff?
Okay, well, this deck is like the deck I'm on the hotness with. I'm not gonna lie, I love Curly Wall, man. Like that, it just feels so good against these decks that think that they have like a game plan into these Terra Box decks, and you're all like, okay, well now And my guys, all my one prizers take 60 less damage, so no free KOs. And all of a sudden, I got bravery charms on guys, and I'm looping these guys, and I'm just doing dirty things to decks that they just like, and it's just like, I really think this deck's good. My only real concern is that like I don't know if this deck's good after this event. So I think if anyone was really hot on it, I think they should play it, because I've played a lot of games on this deck against people locally, all of the better players that I know, and they're starting to figure things out, and it's making me actually a little scared to play this deck to Atlanta, because they are kind of giving me the work in the last like 3-4 days. It has been horrible. I don't want to discredit the deck at all, because I think it's actually super good. But it's like you really have to have it in the early turns, or you kind of just don't have it. Like it really does need the setup. It's kind of like Terra Box. Or it just doesn't go. It just doesn't go. And the fact that you kind of need more.
Fan Rotom more than Terra Box,
It's like, tough. It's tough. It's hard work. You have to put more good cards in your deck for sure. You have to play a more consistent game, and then just hopefully, they're missing knockouts. But which is why I actually think like, its matchups are just completely different. Like one almost a complete flip on the head. Like we're not reaching for one shots and trying to be super aggressive. Like we're trying to take 2 or 3 extra turns than every other deck in the format, and make it hard and stuff. Which is like, it's cool. The deck works, but I think its turn ones are a little bit worse than some of these other decks. I'll be honest.
It almost feels like one of those things where, like, if the deck would have got, like, I don't know, revealed, like, or its presence would have been revealed, like, 2 weeks after it got, like, kind of out there into the space, like, it would have been one of them things people probably didn't know how to play against, and it would have been incredible.
It was shown too early.
It came out a little too early, so now people are like, oh, I'm aware of it. I know how to play around it. I still think it has a really good spot in the meta. But
yeah. And so
I'd agree with Drew that its time is now, though. Like, if it's going to do something, it has to be this event.
And so this brings up another question. Drew mentioned a consistency thing here. The really popular version right now is playing the Scoop Up Cyclone. Are you thinking of switching that to like a trolley? Like if you can get all 8 dudes out turn 1, that's cracked.
Oh, yeah, day one, I actually switched to the trolley build with that deck, and I was on that for a while, and since I've switched it around, the deck is powerful enough that you can kind of like cut into some other things. You can play some cards like Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher is really good. You can play Scoop Up Cyclone, because Scoop Up Cyclone's like, the fact that it's abusable with Trapgos and with Noctowl like makes it just like really strong in the deck. But yeah, honestly, like there's just like no wrong choices. It just depends on what you think you have room for in the deck. If you think you don't have room for these spicy plays, like maybe just play the Scoop Up Cyclone and lots of Ball Search, or cut into your Ball Search and play. I mean, the trolley's good. I like the trolley a lot. It actually helped a ton. Turn 2 first Noctowl just being trolley and area 0 and just filling your bench and just playing your game was really good. But that's one of those things where it's all like, I feel like the more and more people are playing against these decks, the weaknesses are just a little more glaring. I think the format's still like kind of fast, unfortunately, even though it's slowed down. I wish it was like 1 turn slower on average, because I think this deck would fit perfectly into like just beating up on everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'll have to try trolley after you said that out loud, because I do find myself like debating, do I go more Noctowl central or more Boof central, especially on that turn 1, because it decides the entire game. That's enough of the Boof. I know we could talk about Boof forever, to be honest with you. But our Chaladon, it seems like the best second tier deck. It's everywhere. It's a huge guy, accelerates its own energy. I don't like the deck because it doesn't draw well on its own. But as we loop back into the Zoroark conversation, now we're trading. Now we're discarding cards we don't want. We're discarding energies that we're accelerating for free. Thoughts on our Chaladon? I probably should cue you guys up better than this. Drew, thoughts on our Chaladon?
Okay. I mean, yeah, our Chaladon. I mean, I don't understand where Archaludon is at right now. I feel like I've seen maybe 30 different Archaludon variants in the last 2 weeks on live. I don't understand.
Zoroark, you name it, they're
Poison,
everywhere.
Zoroark, Compzation,
The max
I don't know.
builds.
It's just there's just
the
a
Pelipper
million
builds.
things. Yeah, there's just a
Wait,
million.
hold on. A Pelipper build? Can you just pause Drew for a second? You said Pelipper?
Hearsay, Pelipper.
Pelipper goes and gets a supporter out of your deck or Discord pile.
The pre-release promo from like 2 sets ago.
That one.
Oh my! I have to find this. I have to play a Pelipper deck.
I think the Pelipper came out when United Wings came out. It was the same set, right?
Oh my! It was. I remember the
Taylor,
pre-release
we
kit.
played it the pre-release together. Yeah,
Oh,
we played
I
it.
remember the kit. Let's go. Oh, that's incredible. I did not know how we got on Pelipper, but that's incredible.
I don't know either because that card's fake.
Double build though. I think it's a better version of the double build, but I think the poison package is the right way to play Archaludon, and I think it'll be the like most popular and best variant of the deck at Atlanta for sure.
Yeah. I think the poison package is cool. I in the same way that I'm just like you just stealing turns away from decks is so good right now. So just doing that and having it actually make sense and work is cool. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I really would not be telling people anything besides like the deck just works. Just play the deck. And honestly, just like the double, here and there is like fine. Like there's lots of cool things. The one thing I really like about Archaludon, if I was really trying to make it work, is I think Jamming Tower is being underplayed in the West. I think there was a couple decks that were playing multiple copies, 3 or 4 copies in pretty much every build of it at the Champions League of this meta, and I just feel like Jamming Tower like destroys a couple decks in the format, like just makes it so they are really kind of screwed out of playing the game, and I just don't know why we aren't playing like quad Jamming Tower, quad Hand Disruption, Archaludon.
I was about to say, with rotation, like the things we lost, like losing Vacuum, and then you lost a lot of like consistency and recovery. So like anything that can take advantage of those things. So like obviously like every deck is playing tools now. I think Jamming Tower is a great card in this format. And then like losing all the recovery stuff, like you don't have the one card option of I drew fish, I got out of you, Ionoing me to 2. Like you gotta work for it a lot more now. And so, like, I think Hand Disruption is really good right now.
Oh,
Stamp's crazy.
Stamp is not, especially if you are playing the poison package and you turn off Bez. Like, that's half my problem with old Goldengo as a Dragon Ball player. And maybe I'm just playing the matchup wrong, but it's just like every time you're going to coin bonus for 6, and then I'm going to coin bonus for 4, plus a Fez draw to 7. I'm like, thanks for my stamp, dude. Send it in the mail next time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why I just wish I wish the poison Archaludon didn't have to play the jungle stadium because that's the only way to deal 70 with the Petra run. Because if if we could make that work, I mean, you can still use the ability on the Brute Bana even with the Jamming Tower in play because you just need the card attached to it. So it's like that would work. Yeah, that would have worked. That would have worked. So it's just like this poison build's just caught too much steam. I don't think anyone's gonna play Jamming Tower, but I think that would mess some decks up.
Yeah. Oh well, I think we've reached to the big bad part of the portion here, and like I'm almost like not a fan of it anymore. If you've listened to the pod before, I'm a big Dragapult guy, but it's just everywhere. It is everywhere. We don't have to talk about the Goldengo version. I think it's fake. I tried playing it in person. I've tried playing it online. I can't figure it out. That's just a Goldengo deck with the worst draw engine to add on top of it.
Play Goldengo, play Dragapult, don't play them together.
Yeah, don't play them together. I tried. I was a believer, bro. I was so hyped when it got second. And I was like, dude, this guy's the sauce. And then I think it was a Little Dark Fury and a couple of the guys from Toronto or someone who went with, they day-2'd with it. And I was like, oh, bro, it's got legs, bro. We're moving now. And then I played it again, and it's not it. But I am a big believer of the Thorns version, and I've been playing the Thorns version for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Dragapult Iron Thorns? It's obviously the least popular version of it because you just lose the mirror, and we'll make this out of the way now. Dragapult Iron Thorns just loses the Dragapult mirror if they Badoo you or get a Dusknoir set up at all. I think you just lose it immediately. Maybe you throw in a rigid band, but you're not stage 1, so it doesn't matter. Defiance Fest maybe, but even then, it's just impossible. But as a former Thorns player, Drew, and I know you weren't the biggest fan of when I played it in person, but thoughts on Iron Thorns Dragapult? We'll make it quick.
No, I think the deck's the same, which is like a good thing and a bad thing. I don't think the deck got any worse at all, which with rotation usually is a very good thing, unless it just randomly becomes horrible in the meta. A deck literally having almost 60 for 60 what it had pre-rotation is really, really strong. We're still playing trolleys. The energy counts aren't changing. We can play the 1/1 Toad Scroll still, if we really want to. There's lots of little things that are kind of cool for the deck, and nothing's really changed. I mean, there's still just enough with the deck where it's just it can be a little slow, or you really can lose to one bad hand disruption because the deck just doesn't really have a ton going on. But
I think it got a little worse with rotation simply because of what got better. I think the Noctowl engine itself is the problem for that deck.
Yeah, that's super, super true actually, and yeah, that's one of those things where it's I actually have some players around me that they loved the Iron Thorns Dragapult deck, and they were all okay, I was it's just not working against the Noctowls. They're still hitting everything they need. We're still losing to Raging Bolt every time. We're still losing to Terravox every time, and so they kind of landed on trying a heavy Klefki build actually.
I think Klefki is better than Thorns.
Klefki to turn off the fan rotom, really, really cool actually. Going first and retreating into Klefki in Dragapult or in Gardevoir is really strong. And even just doing it going second with TM Evo, that being our guy, you can Badoo lock them, or you can Klefki TM Evo. I think it's good either way. I think it actually is hard. I don't know if Quad Klefki's the way. I mean, starting Klefki is cool, but
I think pairing Klefki alongside of Badoo is really, really good. Just having the option to do, you're a deck I need to turn off items, or you're a deck I got to cut off Rotom is a very good, and it gives you some options going first or second. Whereas the Badoo going, if you're forced to go first with the Badoo, it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
And honestly, Badoo's just better than Iron Thorn's ability. It just is. Turning off those abilities is just not as good as item locking them. You'd much rather give up one prize, even over 1 or 2 turns, to item lock somebody while you get your Dragapult slowly evolved than you would, just sitting there behind an Iron Thorns that it's going to take 2 turns to power up no matter what, and then it's just going to end up giving up 2 prizes.
I also think Thorns loses a lot of viability when Charizard's worse. It's a simple connection across those 2 cards. Charizard's not good right now, so Thorns probably isn't at its best.
I think a big thing too, and I've been playing. I think it's 3 Iron Thorns and 2 Badoo, and it works. It really just depends on the first and second thing. It definitely does make it harder. And then also it can play Monkey now with Crispin into it, and then you Iron Thorns the energy down, which is super crazy. And the Toad Scroll is still broken. And we mentioned it too. It's not as good into the Terrabox versions, but it's really good into Archaludon. It's really good into Raging Bolt. It's very matchup specific. So I don't know if you go Quad Thorns Dragapult, but one doesn't hurt. It's one of those things where if you want to play around with it, it's definitely interesting because it's very matchup specific. And so I don't know if Quad Thorns is the way. But last but not least, this Dragapult Dusknoir build going around, and even the tanky one is still surviving too. the Ursaluna, the Badoo, the Defiance Vest. Like both these decks, Dragapult is just everywhere, and if you're not prepared for it, you're just gonna get smacked around. Thoughts on Dragapult? Is it just a whole? You can go either version, one or the other. Drew?
I mean, Dragapult's broken. I mean, it's broken. It's like this exact time last year when like Dragapult was like had first come out and people were just getting their hands on it in Japan, and it was like the world was ending. Everyone's all like, "Oh, great, a 320 HP Pokemon with no weakness that all does 200 damage and spreads 60 damage however it wants." Like it's the end of the world. And then at New Orleans last year, that deck just sucked. Like it sucked super bad. Like Tord baited everybody into playing a bad deck.
He
And
played
then
it. Don't. Hey, he played it. Don't.
he played
Don't.
it.
He
He played Charizard.
He
I mean,
played
he played
Charizard,
Charizard.
Dragapult, Pidgeot. It was in the
Yeah.
list. It was there.
No.
But you're right.
It was there.
He's the original Charizard Dragapult guy.
He attacked with that at maybe a couple times, so it counts. But either way, that card was
Count
not
it.
good when it came out. But now all of a sudden, it's like this card is like never ever gonna be bad ever again. Like no matter what, like it's ridiculous. Like what it's capable of, and the fact that it's a Terra Pokemon is just even crazier. Just like Sparkling Crystal and so many other things like really
And the
carry
bench
it.
barrier. The
There's
bench
just
barrier.
so many things. There's just so many things that make the card good that it's like impossible to dethrone. I mean, they literally made Drapion V2 and Lily's Clefairy, and this card is still the best card in the entire format. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you look at it, they printed Clefairy, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be the boogeyman, and it's like, dude, I have Dusknoir. I'm just going to Dusknoir this Clefairy, counter catcher around it, put 6 damage counters on it, and I'll take my 4 prizes, and we'll go home now. Like, it's one of those things like, this is the boogeyman. Like, what it was supposed to be when it came out is what it is now. Like, with Badoo's the perfect partner for it. All it had to do was slow other things down and show how good it is when it gets rolling. Like,
Yeah, I love
takes
it.
some time. It's a setup, but once you set up, this deck is incredible.
I love it. And and none of us mentioned it either, but your cloak is probably the best draw engine in the game without having to discard anything. You're choosing what you need at the right times. Like it's such a good ability to have airmail or recon directive instead of having to get rid of resources. It's incredible. Like I was playing Charizard Dragapult after Madsen topped 8, whatever European event
his
was.
list was very good. His list
It's
was super
so good, and it solved a lot of Dragapult problems. I'm shocked to not see it popular enough, but because Charizard's just not good in general. Jordan mentioned it a minute ago. It's just too slow. But like as a support Pokemon, I wouldn't be shocked to see it have a run, but it won't be very popular.
yeah, Dragapult's insane. Yeah, there's just nothing good. I mean, Dragapult's so good that Gardevoir and Raging Bolt look like good plays.
Yeah, we're at that point. Yeah, you're not wrong. Throw in the Toad Scroll. That's a perfect overview of the meta. Dragapult's the big bad. If you don't want to play Dragapult mirrors all day, listen to the rest of the pod before that. Like I think we very well summarized it. But one last thing I'll ask for both of you when we talk about the meta. I need one deck from C tier or below, or something that's not even on this list that you guys have been messing with or playing with.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the Flareon Noctowl deck is actually really, really fun. Like,
I do.
If you were an Arceus guy back in the day, pick up the Flareon Noctowl, and you could have yourself some time, man. Like, it's good. That, and I ran into that Blissey deck the other day, and dude, that's them Pikachu's and stuff, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, when that just came out of nowhere. Like,
I love it. That's fantastic. The Blissey call. Drew,
That is hype.
you got one?
Okay, well, I'm a bit of a Franzlas Monkey Dory truther. I'm the crazy guy in the street telling you it's secretly BDIF, and I've been saying that with every set release for like a year now. Yeah, it's crazy. I just have so much fun playing that deck. I suffered through, Reggie Drago making that deck unplayable because Phantom Dive. and here I am again, suffering through Phantom Dive for probably another year. So it's never gonna be good, but it is super fun. Spread decks are super fun. Abusing Monkey Dory is super fun. And you get a little item lock or Maractus retreat trapping in there. It almost gets there every time, and that's what I love about the deck, that I almost win every time.
Yeah, you almost get there. We'll throw in my shout out real quick. I love the Slow King deck. I love Slow King so much. I think it's the craziest pile of cards to ever exist. To effectively use a Knight Academy to put the attacker on top of the deck and then just have a total single prizer board. No Terras, no wall is stopping me. I'm Slow King. Like, what are you gonna do to me? I'm Regigigasing you for 330 damage. Unless you're a Mammo Swine, I'm out. I'm like, okay, whatever.
That is time.
I love a good Slow King deck.
I do wish the only thing about the rest of this list is that I wish that Iron Hands, Iron Crown deck was not on there. That deck is, it might be the worst deck that has ever touched a Pokemon tournament in the last couple of years. It's such a bad deck.
I'm so happy you said that, Drew, because we're moving into the pile of the week. I found this on Podeca Book. I found this on Podeca Book today. With 2 Joltik, 2 Pikachu, and Iron Leaves for your Charizard matchup.
Or Crispin and a Rhydon Iron.
Let me look here. I have to translate it real fast. I think it won a City League. Let me translate this tweet real fast. Hold on. Maybe if it'll let me. There it is. Yeah, it was. It's the winner. It beat Dragapult in the final here.
What?
Yeah, it beat straight up Dragapult in the final. It's a deck, bro.
Is this translation accurate?
I will find out. I'm gonna play it later on live. Catch me on the live with this Joltik box, bro.
This is crazy.
I don't know how to think about it.
This is the type of deck to make me lose faith in humanity.
I'm playing it for like 4 hours after this. I promise you. I'm all over it. I'm pretty sure
one of my friends is playing like Future Box with Scramble Switch and Regigigas to Atlanta. So.
Oh yeah, bro.
Little shout out to Sheena, but like I think she's playing that.
The last time I used Scramble Switch was right when Journey Together came out, and I was playing Belly Bolt, Raging Bull, Iron Hands with a Scramble Switch. It was so much fun. I had a blast. The deck's terrible.
You like Iron Leaves?
Oh my god!
It takes all the energy.
Scramble Switch, bro. It's incredible. It was so good.
If I could say one thing about this deck, there is something tickling me in the back of my brain that's saying like Power Glass on a Pikachu EX is a good combo, but I don't know.
Poison Package is just not popular enough to make that work effectively, and I absolutely love it. 1 out of 10 games you'll hit a Poison Package and you'll just scoop it up. But you know what? For Atlanta, I might be playing it. I'm not going, but who says no, right? Who says no? This is the pile of the week. Thank gosh for Japan City Leagues, because if you win a league cup with this, you're not tweeting it. No chance. You're not. No way.
I'm gonna build Dragapult real quick, take a picture of it, and be like, "What a cup!"
No way, dude. This is why Podeca Book on Twitter is absolutely amazing. Final thing for you guys. I think this is the best part of Pokemon, and obviously the community is also great. But what are your guys' goals for this tournament? As a player who wants to be more competitive, but also loves a good silly deck, what are your goals going into Atlanta? Drew.
It's simple. I'd like to 9-0 day 1, and I'd like to 4-0 day 2. And then I'd like to win the tournament. That's really... I sit down at every single round I play, before I flip it over or before I draw my starting 7 or flip the dice, I want to win every single round. So, yeah, that's my goal. That's what I want to happen, and we'll see what happens.
Jordan.
For me, so I am 0-3 this season on my day 2 winning in so far. So, we're gonna try to make day 2 again, boys. We're 0-3 so far, but I'm very confident going into this tournament. I'm excited to play in this format. I think I picked a good deck. I think I think your deck's under repped. I think it's good. I feel a lot better than I've felt going into a lot of tournaments this season, and I'm in a good headspace and everything. So we can see where
I love
we can see
that.
what happens this time.
I love that energy. I do. I love it. The poison package super cool. Obviously, we're not big enough to leak anything like that, but like I would be super shocked to see a Brute Bonnet in a Goldengo deck. So hey man, I feel you. I feel it, and I'm with you. I'm in spirit. I'm there. I'm 100%. You need a message in between rounds? You just let me know. I got you.
I think. I mean, you know how we travel, so like I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like 30 of us there. So I think I'll have,
Bro, how
I'll
hard
have
is
the
that?
support. So
How long is that drive for you?
I think it's only like 8 hours.
Yeah, the benefits of being
hours,
East
something like that.
Coast, dude. Benefits of being East Coast.
Yeah, I wish I could drive. I wish I could drive to this one, but
This one's like 6-7 hours. We're going down early. We're catching a Braves game Thursday. It's gonna be a great time.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Sick. I love that. With that, any wrapping thoughts? Anything you want to add?
I don't know. I think this format's going to be fun. I think that a lot of people are like, at least around me, are kind of doom and glooming about how it's just another format where Dragapult's at the top and Raging Bolt and Gardevoir are good. But I was like, there's a lot of cool, fun new decks. Like I think this is the best our Chaladon's ever been. I think, like these Noctowl decks are like kind of like fun to play. For the first time, they've finally been really good outside of that one Terapagos Dusknoir deck. So I think this format's fun, and I think it's really wide. I think it's gonna be super fun for locals. I think you can kind of just pick and choose a pet deck, and take it as far as you want. And I think the big tournaments are gonna be really fun. At least in the U.S., I think they're big enough that it's just there's a lot of surprises coming out.
Yeah.
We get this format for what? We get this format for this in Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee's in this format as well?
Correct.
Just two tournaments.
Two tournaments in the format. I know looking at the last page we just saw, like with the whole meta spread and everything on it, there's a lot of decks that are actually like really fun to play in this format. And I think we'll look back in a couple of formats and be like, man, I really wish we could have explored this format some more, because I think there's a lot in this. And I definitely think there's, two tournaments isn't going to fully showcase like the amount of fun and the amount of variety that this format has.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You guys nailed it on the head, and you guys absolutely killed it. I don't know if this is your first podcast or not, but this is a lot of fun for me. I know Brock would be having a good time too. We'll definitely guys have you back if you're welcome to have it. But again, good luck in Atlanta. Travel safe. We'll be tracking. I'm there. All right.
Thank you much.
Thank you, brother.
And now with that, that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next time.